Are your houseplants dying despite your best efforts? Do you struggle with them starting to turn yellow or brown or crispy on the edges and you're like, what am I doing wrong? Look, houseplants, they're sometimes a little bit picky, and I am here to give you some tips and tricks to make it easier for you. I'm Lauren Kane. I'm the founder of Elm Dirt. I founded Elm Dirt because my 6-month-old daughter was eating dirt in our own backyard and I was worried about all the chemicals she was eating. I've got dogs that eat the dirt. I've got kids that play in it, and I want to encourage it. And so I made something better. And what I found when I made something better is that my gardening, my houseplants, everything got easier to maintain. And so as I have dove into this journey, as I've developed my products, as I have shared them with the world, what I have learned is that soil that you pick up at every garden center, and I've done it, that's what I did for years before I learned a better way, that most of it's just inert, and it's there, it gives good structure for the roots, but it does not give them places to thrive. And sometimes they'll have the slow release fertilizer pellets, and then you're adding more synthetic fertilizer on top of it, and in these little tiny containers, you know what? They actually build up salts. And so the salt content in synthetic fertilizer builds up in those pots over time. And if you aren't flushing your pots and just running water through them to get the salt content down, it can actually cause your plants to really struggle and make it harder for you to grow them. The other thing I learned is that when you are working with organics and working with living microbes, they actually do a lot of the work for you. They manage the soil. They're talking to the plants and determining what soil pH they like, and they're making it work for them. They're delivering nutrients to the plants as they need them, so you don't have to continually keep up with your fertilizing, and you just have to worry about keeping them alive. Another thing I also realized from my own struggles with houseplants is I tend to overwater them. And so when you are checking your houseplants, just stick your finger in the soil, and if it's an inch deep and it is dry as a bone, water it. If it is an inch deep and you feel a little bit of moisture, give it another day or two and then come back and check again. But that is one of the number one killers, is root rot in your plants, because they're too soggy and they sit there with soggy roots for so long that they just end up struggling. So I've learned a few tips over the years, and my microbe-based fertilizers, especially our plant juice and even our bloom juice, are great for indoor plants. Our plant juice is really great at developing those roots and helping bring your soil alive and helping knock down the salt content so that your plants don't have to struggle anymore. And then our bloom juice has actually helped some people's indoor plants to bloom. And I've gotten so many messages from people who have succulents especially, or like, I didn't realize this plant blooms, but now it's blooming, and I just fed it the bloom juice last week, and it's so incredible to see those results. And I want you guys to try it too. Now, just remember, every plant has their own specific watering that they need. And so with succulents, especially since I mentioned people use bloom juice with it, they don't like a lot of water. They only like being watered once a month or when they need it. So knowing what to look for and when to water them is really important. For me, when I'm looking at it, I even do the same for snake plants. So I've got a snake plant right behind me. I'm looking at how fat are these leaves and how sturdy are they, because that tells me the water content in them. And I'm looking at the soil, sticking my finger in the soil, seeing how dry it is, because succulents and snake plants don't like to have their roots wet. And I can't tell you how many plants I have killed from overwatering them, and there's even been some that I've underwatered. Orchids are another one that we love to take care of. We even have an orchid spray on our site where you just spray the leaves and the roots of your orchid and give it a burst of food for it to grow. And people have seen so much great success there. It helps bring those orchids back to life. If you're struggling keeping orchids, it's a really great way to also keep them moisturized and get them the water that they need. You can even spritz them with water too in between the feedings, just to keep them going, because they are more tropical plants. They like a more humid environment. And so knowing what your plant likes and what it needs is a really great way for you to know what's going on. And don't be discouraged. Everybody has, sometimes they get old leaves and they yellow and they fall off, and that happens as a normal part of plant life. But if your plants are telling you something, they're yellow or they're crispy on the edges, you won't be afraid to reach out and see if we can help you. We've got some plant experts on hand that love to answer questions. We've got a community that you can join, Elm Dirt community, where other people can help answer your questions too, or you can learn from others who are also sharing their stories and their journeys along the way, because we all are learning and we're all making mistakes and we all want to grow more plants. I know I am a proud plant parent and I know you guys are too. And I want to help you guys grow easier and better so you can just sit back and enjoy all the greenery around you and just really soak up the joy of having plants.